Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live, all 3 speakers go.
And what is up, everybody? Michael Buckasher here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com right now. Check out the merchandise page and the blog section as well. And for a short time more, you can become a member over there as well. It's $3 a month. You become a member over there on manhourradio.com. But starting next week, you can only become a member over on the YouTube page. YouTube.com/manhour is the only place where you become a member moving forward after starting next week. So you get all the after show footage, you get raw access to, is all access to the blog section as well, and a bunch more content over there on youtube.com/manhour and become a member. That starts next week. That is Combs, what is next week? To next week, it is 4/18 is Sunday. So April 18th is when you start becoming a new member over there on youtube.com/manhour. But let's welcome the peanut butter to my jelly, the brother from another mother, the ginger to my spice, Brandon BC Combs. What's going on, man?
What is going on, Michael Buckheister? What is going on, Man Hour Nation? What is going on, Big X Radio? Let's do this, man. I'm pumped, man. We got Tim Dillard on the show tonight. We've got all sorts of stuff going on. I'm pumped.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know who Tim Dillard is a pregame analyst and a postgame analyst for the Milwaukee Brewers. He used to be a pitcher. I don't ever remember him as a pitcher. I remember him more as like a commentator and like an overall funny guy. So how was his professional career, Combs?
It was short. It was short-lived, and he jokes about that, a lot throughout the interview. He joked, especially off camera, like he does not take himself very. You know how you get those athletes that just take themselves like way too seriously.
Kevin Durant.
Guy, calm down. Like,
right.
And he is not. He is not that guy. He's extremely funny, extremely down to earth, and a good guy. He's been couch surfing because he went to Milwaukee. He took the job last minute before the season started, and so he's been couch surfing with Twitter followers. So his Twitter, he puts up a thing on Twitter. Anybody got a couch I can surf on? And he's been couch surfing with Twitter followers.
Yeah, I mean,
while he tries to find a place for him and his family to go to.
That's kind of a double-edged sword because you can get some of those weirdos people, right? Like put the lotion on the skin or against the hose again, or you can have like the coolest person ever that gives you
So he did this entire interview from the laundromat.
There you go, perfect.
You see people walking back and forth behind him, and yeah.
So
it's pretty funny.
So that is coming up here in about 10 minutes or so. So we have pregame and or. What is his official title? It's like it is pregame analyst, right?
Yeah, he's a pre and post. You call him a co-host, call him an analyst,
right.
Whatever you want to do.
He brings brings the magic to the post game shows over there on Brewerland because right now they're not doing very good. So
his thing right now is he wears lapel pins on every pre and post game show, and they all say something different. And he had one that said, "I have no clue what to do."
It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. So
I asked him if he would wear a W flag on a day that if I sent him a W flag lapel pin, if he would wear it on a day that the Cubs beat the Brewers, and he said absolutely not.
You know that's never going to happen whatsoever. But we do have him coming up here in a couple minutes. We also have the Hump Day Blues. What Major League Baseball team or players is just not having a good week so far. So we got that coming up as well. But Combs, baseball season is officially in full swing. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I've been trying to, not say it's quite summer yet because I don't want to go mow my grass. But I officially went to my first Little League game tonight. My 10-year-old nephew was playing the old kid pitch. And if you guys know anything about 10-year-old kid pitch, it's a great game to watch because you get some of those kids playing in the sand still, and you got some of those kids that are throwing like 80 miles an hour. So it is a real treat over there.
So you either get a pitcher who is throwing BBs and striking everybody out, or you get the pitcher that is walking the ballpark and you just watch them take ball 4 every batter.
On the bright side, this umpire was so bad that literally the ball bounced into the catcher's glove. So the ball bounced like probably 5 feet in front of the plate, but it bounced up into the strike zone. Strike 3. I was like, what?
Oh, so we're playing kickball rules.
Right. Well, we're playing one-hop strike rule. Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
all right.
Absolutely crazy here. But speaking of crazy, a perfect game has been in the books for North Texas softball pitcher Hope. I'm going to butcher her last name, Trautwein. So Trautwein. Tremaine. That
Hope
sounds.
Tremaine.
That looks nothing like Tremaine whatsoever. But she threw 7 innings and 21 strikeouts. For those people that don't know, softball only plays 7 innings. So she literally struck everybody out all game. No walks, pure strikeouts. Combs, how impressive is that?
That's very impressive. I believe she only threw 67 pitches.
Which that's even more impressive.
you need 63 to strike out 21 batters.
Yeah.
So she threw 4 balls. She threw 4 pitches that were not strikes in this perfect game.
And I don't think they were balls either. Man. They dinked them. They touched the bat.
Foul ball. Yeah.
I know. It was a bench warmer reference there.
This girl is phenomenal. Like, I've never seen a perfect game, and that's what this was. This was the most perfect game you could get. You struck out every batter.
Literally,
it's a perfect game, and it's ridiculous. But it was so cool to watch. So I heard about it after, so I went back and I watched the entire game. And this chick is unhittable.
Yeah, absolutely,
positively unhittable. And it's going to be fun to watch her pitch in the College World Series to see how North Texas does, how she fares against some of the stiffer competition. I believe they were playing. I can't remember. I think it was Louisiana Lafayette or something. Is who this was against. I can't remember the team that they were playing against, but it was just fun to watch, man. 21 strikeouts.
So
21 batters faced, 21 strikeouts.
So let me ask you this. What is more impressive to you, her performance or a major league complete game? What would be more impressive to watch?
Well, obviously it's going to be the Major League Baseball, perfect game, because a perfect game in Major League Baseball is, it's so rare over, however 120-year span that baseball has been in existence, 130-year span, however long it's been in existence. It's so rare. It hasn't even happened. I don't even think I don't know the exact number. I know it's happened less than 100 times, a perfect game in Major League Baseball history. So
and just for you people know that a perfect game it is no walks, it is no hits, it's no errors.
Yeah, nobody touches base. Yeah. So it's so rare, and there's more innings played. Perfect games in college softball are a lot less rare. Jenny Finch, I believe, threw like 10 or 12 of them in her career at Arizona.
Did she have 21 strikeouts, though?
No, never a perfect game. Yeah. This is the first perfect game I've ever heard of. I've done my research. I've looked up to see if anybody else has ever done this. It's never been documented, a perfect game, ever. So this is just something we go back to last night. Would you rather be somebody who breaks a record, or would you rather be somebody who is the first person to ever do something? Like, can you imagine Jenny Finch saying, "Hey, I pitched 12 no-hitters," and this Hope Tremaine said, "I only pitched 1, but it was 21 strikeouts, and you've never done that." Like,
well, so like, here's a question for you, Combs. Would you rather have 12 complete games or a perfect game, just one your whole career?
I would the perfect game.
Yeah,
that's
really impressive. Yeah,
it's so impressive. It is that means that you can say literally that day nobody could hit me.
Yeah, literally
nobody could touch me.
Yeah,
yeah, Nobody
Sheesh.
could touch me because I struck out everybody. At least some of these you see perfect games where a guy has to make an unbelievable catch. I believe it was the White Sox perfect game, the Mark Burley perfect game. I think a home run got robbed in that game to preserve the perfect game.
Right.
So like you could say, hey, yeah, it was a perfect game, but he was hittable. He was hittable that day. She was untouchable.
Yeah.
Nobody could do anything for her.
21 strikeouts.
The fielders
very
didn't
impressive.
like her fielders didn't have to do nothing.
Yeah.
You know how bored her shortstop and second baseman and third baseman must have been.
I don't know,
all
man.
Day long. Like,
I wouldn't be bored of being out there only 67 pitches. I bet you that game was done in about 45 minutes. Like she on.
Yeah, and I mean, look, you like watching, you like being a part of history. You love, seeing something like that. But I'm just saying, when you're a fielder, when you're an athlete, you're a competitor, you want the ball to come to you.
Yeah,
you want to make a play. Like you want something to happen. And she was just out there like great. Do you just want us to go sit down in the dugout while you do your thing, or what? I mean, all you need is a pitcher and a catcher today. You didn't even need fielders.
So some movie is coming to my mind, and I don't know what movie it is, but it is some girl like she's like sitting out in the outfield and she's like, I'm so bored, and she's twirling around. She's like, I'm so bored, and like a ball's hit, and she's like, oh, it's not mine. I'm still so bored. I was like I don't know. You probably have really good conversation with your mom and dad in a stanza, like if you were in right field.
Yeah, I mean, you could have all sorts of good conversation because you're not doing anything. So you could probably, I'm sure that the shortstop and second baseman were talking to one another. I'm sure the first baseman was talking to the first base coach of the other team. I'm sure the third baseman was on the third base coach of the other team. The outfielders were picking daisies. Like,
how dejected would you be if you were on the other team?
Oh man, I would not want to play the next day. Like I think I might want to just quit.
I think I pulled a hamstring. Oh, my back hurts.
If I was on, like, I'm telling you right now, if this was like a men's league game and my pitcher was doing that good, and I'm playing center field, me and my right fielder are bringing the cornhole boards out to the outfield because we're gonna dog you. Go ahead and hit the ball. We dare you. We're gonna go ahead and play some bags while you guys.
So funny story. Like we were playing in a softball tournament. This was, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, and our team was we were literally like, we were so good, and we shouldn't have been playing in this tournament just like at all. Yes, we were that team that was playing in a local tournament that shouldn't have been playing in it. We would carry beer out in our shorts out into the outfield and be sipping on beer in the outfield while playing. Like and like there'd be sometimes like a ball was hit, we're like, yeah, somebody else will get it.
Yeah, exactly.
It was so boring.
Tori Anderson chimes in and says, "Good evening, ladies. 2-0 Brewers." Yes, I know. I saw the home run, Tori. Thanks for letting me know. I have the game on in the background. I don't need the play-by-play from you, sir.
So we do have a
Tori.
Pretty hyped.
Some cheese curds.
We have the family. Like over here on YouTube, we see Michelle is over there. What is up, Michelle? Hopefully your daughter is okay and icing that wrist. We have Penelope in there. Sorry, Penny in there. She does not. So fun fact though, Combs. Penelope Smith does not like to be called Penelope. It's Penny.
I just call her Nana.
It's So it is. It is Nana or Penny. We got Combs Jr. in there. Man, our nation get hyped. Yes, sir.
Tori calls her honey.
Combs Jr. How does it feel to never have a winning season in the year 2020s? So I'm just asking that. So then we have some Drew. What is up, Drew? I see Drew over there as well.
He's still got Julian Edelman as his profile pic too. So you got to change that, bud.
Yeah, there we go.
He's no longer with you.
We also got Stacy in there. What's going on, Stacy? The Reds are still in first place. Stacy, congratulations on on that. So Stacy, we are going to have to catch a Bats game because they are actually in town this week. So I was actually going to go today, but we decided not to. So maybe tomorrow we can catch a Bats game. So if you're interested in catching a Bats game, guys, hit me up on Twitter at @manhour_buck. And Combs, we're going to catch a Bats game, man. It's going to be amazing.
Hey, man, have fun. Anytime I'm at the ballpark, I'm in my happy place. So
yeah. Definitely.
I'm fine with it.
I love watching baseball. So, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got the infamous Tid Dillard interview. Fun fact, this was a pre-recorded interview. So Tori and my man BC did handle that pretty well. But nobody has ever seen this interview before, so sit back and enjoy, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour right after this.
Welcome back, Man Hour Nation. It's your boy Brandon Combs here with Tori Anderson, and we are about to bring you an amazing interview with Tim Dillard, who is a former pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers and is the current he's play-by-play, correct, Tori?
He is pregame and postgame co-host.
Oh, pregame and postgame
okay. On Valley Sports Wisconsin.
All right, perfect. So we're gonna bring him on. I know most of you guys know that I'm a Cubs fan, so bringing on a Brewers guy is kind of interesting. But we'll talk to him. I got some questions to throw at him, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's welcome on Tim Dillard to the show. What's going on, Tim?
Hey, nothing much. Just doing some laundry.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with that at all. I usually, throw it down the stairs and let it sit there until the girlfriend does it. But
yeah, well, I'm here by myself. My family's back in Nashville, so I'm just out here in Oak Creek, sleeping on a couch, doing my laundry.
That's awesome.
So that's like we were kind of talking too. I'm like, man, you went from retired to a new job in like a week.
It's almost like I knew I was going to have another job when I retired.
Weird.
Yeah, who would have thought?
So I did get a question from, he's actually one of my friends, and he's a fan too. And you'll know him as Johnny Bananas. He's like, is he coming back? Is Tim going to come back to fantasy camp? Because that's all I really want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I talked to Rock the other day. I was asking him about it because he hasn't brought it up to me in a while, Bill Schroeder. And anyway, he was like, said, "Oh, Timmy, you're a lifer. You're a lifer at fantasy camp." So I was like, I guess that's a good thing. So yeah, I guess I'll be there for fantasy camp, man. That's a lot of fun. You should come.
Yeah, that's one. There's a life goal right there, is to go to make it out to that fantasy camp one time.
Now expand on that a little bit. What exactly is the fantasy camp for those listeners that don't understand what that is?
Yeah, so it doesn't matter who you are. You have enough money, basically. You could go to Arizona and kind of do the baseball life for a week. You play like 8 games in 7 days. You have practices.
Oh, wow. You're
part of a team. You get the jersey, you get the locker, you get the spikes and shoes and everything. Oh, sorry. I'm blocking the...
That is amazing.
Yeah, pretty cool. And
that sounds like I need to start saving up, though.
Yeah, I don't even know how much it is, but they pay me to be like a coach, so I throw batting practice and basically just, hang out with them. I don't have as many stories to say like, a Jason Kendall or somebody, but, there's a lot of fun to be had, and you get to, walk away with a pulled hamstring and a hurt back. So there you go.
Yeah, I just hit 40 a couple weeks ago, so I know all about pulled hamstrings and tight backs, and yeah, absolutely 100%. So Tim, working with the Brewers, I mean, obviously you pitch for the Brewers and doing their pre and post game now. It seems to be a lot of way that players are going after their playing career is over. They go and they do the pre and post game, or they get into calling games. Is this something that you always saw yourself doing?
Not really. I didn't know what I would do after baseball. I've been trying to figure that out since about 2013 because I thought my career was over then, and started trying to do different things, and everything would always fall through, and I'd get another job playing. So I don't know. I never really thought about exactly what I would try to go into as far as, the next career. But
yeah,
I mean, I'm glad I have something. It's good to have a job, I've heard.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're in the league and you're playing at that level, I mean, it's something that you dream of as a kid. I know for me, I was always like, hey, I really love to play baseball. I'd love to be a Cub one day. And I thought that if I played, Little League once every 3 weeks, I would, become like this all-star baseball player, But what is it like when you finally get in and you break into the bigs and you get to the show and you're just, your first experience walking out on that major league field, man? What is it like?
Wow. I mean, it's I don't know. It's just, it makes you feel like you can do anything. Like, I'd never thrown 100 miles an hour before, but when I got on the mound, I'm like, I'm going to try to throw this ball 100 miles an hour. And you almost have to, you almost have to fight against those things, right? You have these irrational thoughts. Hey, I'm going to throw a curveball. I've never thrown a curveball, but now's the time. So, I don't know. It just makes you feel like you're not even touching the ground. Like, everything's great. You know, it's pretty awesome. It's also really nerve-wracking, especially for somebody like me. I never got a contract or anything like that. So every single day I'd walk in the clubhouse, like, do I still have a job? You know, that kind of thing. So it's pretty amazing. Like, all the stuff that I went through, like, all, you know, injuries growing up, and, you know, the time I put into I was drafted twice as a catcher by the Brewers. So, like, all the time and effort I put into, like, my craft as a catcher and then into a pitcher, like, just, it's worth it. It really is. It's a crazy life. It's not for everybody. But if you get in it and you enjoy it and you like the movie Groundhog Day, then you'll be fine.
Yeah, see, for me, like, as you can tell by all the stuff in the background and the gear that I'm wearing, I'm a diehard Cubs fan. Like, I grew up a Cubs fan. It's just in my blood. You know what I mean?
No,
so
my dad played for the Cubs.
Really?
Yeah, back in, like, the late 70s, early 80s. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he coached for the Cubs in the minor leagues in 1995. You got to meet Harry Carey and Steve Stone up in the booth. So, yeah, I mean, I have ties to the Cubs right now. Right now, they're the enemy, but yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to get into here, is that, you know, there's a huge rivalry growing. I mean, obviously for me, I grew up, and I still to this day, like, anything that I can do, but screw the Cardinals, man. I can't stand the Cardinals. Every time we face them, I want to see. I told somebody one time that I don't care if we lose 110-0, as long as every batter that comes up to the plate, we just plunk them. I just want to hit every, like, the Cardinals are the worst. I hate the Cardinals. But the Brewers are kind of a newer, because they were always in the American League, and then they came over to the National League. So it's really a fresh rivalry. I mean, this is something that's been, it was 95, 96 where they came over to the National League. And so it's more of a fresh rivalry, and really wasn't that big of a rivalry really until, you know, the Brewers and the Cubs both started getting good. There was a long time where the Cubs were just atrocious to watch. And then when they were atrocious to watch, the Brewers were good. But when the Brewers were atrocious to watch, the Cubs were good. And then, you know, probably about 2013, we both got, you know, relatively competitive, and we started growing, and both have really good, young, solid cores. When you are, you know, as a player, do you feel that intensity? Do you feel that rivalry when you're going up against, like, a Chicago Cubs or a St. Louis Cardinals? Is that something that's for you guys, or is that more of a fan type thing?
I think as a player, you want to win everything. You know, if I'm a pitcher, I want to win every game, every inning, every at bat, every pitch, because you can't think too far ahead. So, you know, I would say there's sometimes when you're kind of you walk in the clubhouse, you don't even know who you're playing that day. I know that's not really being negligent. It's like you're just showing up for the day. It's like, okay, turn my baseball brain on. It's like, who we got? Oh, we're playing the Cubs. All right, let's dig into who I'm going to face and what that's going to look like. And, you know, let's start talking about the defense and things like that. So, I mean, on like the player side of it, they really just think moment by moment rather than there's nobody in the clubhouse talking about the World Series, you know, or playoffs. Like, that's so far away that no one's really on that spectrum. As far as rivalries, I gave up a walk-off hit to Starlin Castro to lose a game in 2000 something. And it was really loud. You know, if we were at Marlins place, maybe there's not as many people there. Probably wouldn't have been as loud. But I don't know. It's a tough thing because it's very intense. I played winter ball in Venezuela in 2014, and they hang on every single pitch. Like, you throw a ball, it's like, boo! You throw a strike, they're like, yeah! So that's kind of what you get from rivalries that are that intense. But as far as the players are concerned, like, you saw it the other day in the game. Tempers kind of flared a little bit, and they just kind of, you know, they extinguished it real quick. It's a long season. They're about to face them like 16 more times in the next month. It's like,
Yeah, I
guys,
was
let's
actually
face-
at Wrigley on
let's
Wednesday.
pace ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at Wrigley on Wednesday. It was a good game, going to extra innings. And Kane really, I know Tori texted me right after Kane hit that 3-run shot and said Kane for the win and all that. And it's one of those back and forth things. For me, I don't dislike the Brewers as much as I dislike the Cardinals just because of that. For me, it's Craig Counsell, your manager. Like, I see Craig Counsell and Craig Counsell's face when they show him on TV in the dugout, and I want to start kicking puppies. Like, that's just what it is for me. Like, I don't know why, but Craig Counsell is just that guy for me. I don't even know why. It's just...
I don't get it, because Craig Counsell is one of the nicest people on the entire face of the earth. I don't get it.
Yeah.
And when he was in the World Series for the Arizona Diamondbacks and beating the Yankees, like, I was a big Craig Counsell fan. Like, I loved Craig Counsell then. But now that he's managing the Brewers and the rivalry is starting to get heated, and there's been a lot of hit batters, more so on the Cubs side. I believe you guys hit 5 Cubs in the last series. It was, and I think 4 of them were Wilson Contreras. So it started to get heated a little bit.
Well,
but the one was that nasty Freddie Peralta curveball that the guy swung at and it hit him.
Yeah.
There's
True.
a lot of times, like, early in the season you're going to get hit, and Contreras gets hit a lot. He kind of dives into the ball. It's like, if you don't want to get hit, don't dive into the ball. But what reminds me is when Pujols was with the Cardinals. You want to know why you probably dislike the Cardinals? It's probably because of Pujols and Tony La Russa. Because anytime you threw a pitch, I say you, or we, but I never pitched against him. He knew better. But like, every time there was a ball that was almost a strike, it was 2 inches inside. And, Pujols would be like, whoa, and he'd look at the dugout. Tony La Russa was on the top step just staring, right? Like, that was. And what they were really doing, in essence, is trying to eliminate that inside corner by saying, hey, don't throw it in there because we're going to make throw a fit. So that was kind of what was going on in the clubhouse. It's like, nobody wants to play against these guys because if you're playing your game and you pitch inside and it's 2 inches inside, everyone's, upset about it for whatever reason. So I think if you're a guy that gets hit a lot, you just have to know that, and if you don't want to get hit, then you kind of have to move off the plate. But all that has nothing to do with getting hit in the head. You get hit in the head, you're allowed to be a little sensitive. That's okay. But,
absolutely.
I think he only get hit twice, and one of them was like a backup curveball. It's just, but for the most part, if the scouting report is to get you out inside, then that's where you're going to pitch. I mean, look at Braun. Braun was, if you pitch him inside, that was how you got him out. If you missed over the plate, it was a home run. If you missed too far in, he'd move. But that was the scouting report.
Right. And that you bring up Ryan Braun, and one of the conversations that we've had on our show a lot is, about the steroid era and that effect. And I am very pro steroid era. Like, I don't care. Like, steroid era is the steroid era. I believe it was a level playing field. I don't believe that there was very many guys who at that time weren't juicing. I think that playing field, I think that's what brought baseball back, that McGwire, Sosa home run chase. So for me, when I look at the steroid era, I am more angry with baseball for the way that they handled those players after they got their hand caught in the cookie jar. Like, I feel like baseball made millions and billions of dollars off of the steroid era and then got their hand caught in the cookie jar and threw these guys under the bus. Like, I am of the belief that Barry Bonds is the greatest player that has ever stepped on a baseball field. Hands down, he is one of for me, it's Babe Ruth, Barry Bonds, 1A, 1B. That's how I feel about it when I look at the numbers and I look at the stats. So, as a player, and as something that you guys, I'm sure that this is conversations that you've had and conversations that you, as you've grown in the game and in the sport, and especially at that level, how do you guys feel about that type of stuff?
Everybody has their own opinions on it, right or wrong or whatever. I never did anything like that. So for me, I don't know. Could I have taken steroids and made, $10 million? It's like, maybe. I don't know. It's one of the trade-offs, though. And if it's just a slap on the wrist or, hey, nowadays you get, 80 games or something like that? Part of you has to sit there and go, okay, well, what's the trade-off? So what do I tell my kids? Like, hey, why don't you do this, try to get away with it, and we'll see what happens. Or, maybe you'll be rich or what, I don't know. So that's kind of the trade-off. It's from person to person, like how you feel about it.
Right.
But there's a lot of things in baseball that you can't control, right? So for me, if I can't control it, then it's hard to just kind of worry about it. So like as a pitcher specifically, you sit there and throw the best pitch in the world, and the guy, hits a dinker, broken bat, and the umpire, calls him safe at first. It's like, well, you did your job, and then it didn't work out. So there's a lot of stuff that's out of your control. But anyway, I had to move the camera. My the dryer's going.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good.
So I'm like, a little off balance there.
Yeah. So we talked about about the steroid era there. Now I am of the big thing. Like right now, I hate the Houston Astros. That's my big thing on the show. If people want to come at me, they start talking about the Houston Astros. So I think the steroid era was okay, but what the Astros did was on a different level. Do you feel the same way? Like, is that pretty much a general consensus that when you are using the technology to steal signs and to steal pitches, is that part of the game, or is that just, look, you guys went about it the wrong way, and I don't like what you did?
I mean, it's just from what I could hear what happened, they were putting cameras in the outfield, and they had it zoomed in on the catcher, and then they had the signs, and then they're relaying it. If that's what happened, that's pretty much cheating. I mean, that's like about as cheating as you can get, and they got caught or whatever.
Yeah.
But for me, just, on a personal level, like you're talking about guys that, I mean, you're costing a young guy. Like say I'm a young guy, I'm trying to get my foot in the door in the big leagues, and I face the Astros, and I get just absolutely, crushed. Like maybe I was doing well, and then I got just blown up one game, and they send you down, and then you never go back to the big leagues. Like, and then you find out they're cheating. I think there's actually a guy that did that. He may be filing a lawsuit or something. Who knows? Like, you're missing out on life-changing experiences and money and all that kind of stuff. But, and on another note, it is kind of dangerous. Like, if a hitter knows exactly what pitch I'm throwing and what location, I mean, that puts me at risk just being on the mound. I've seen a lot of guys get hit. I've been hit a lot. I mean, it's dangerous.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Tori, how do you feel about the Astros?
I'm pretty much in the same boat as you guys. Like, I just can't. Like, well, you saw it the other day when who we did a who's hot and who's not, and I put the Astros in there, and it absolutely killed me to talk good about the Astros just because of the severity of the stuff that they did. And we've talked about that too. Like, the players basically got immunity from it. It's like, oh, it wasn't us, or we're going to cooperate. Like, there are some guys that probably should have taken a little bit more punishment in my book. Like, I'm a big union guy, but some of the guys should have took a little heat for that one.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tim, one of the players who gets booed every time he comes up at Wrigley, louder than anybody, is Christian Yelich. And every time he comes to the plate, man, the fans are booing him. And as a Cubs fan, like, I get it because he kills the Chicago Cubs over the last 3 or 4 seasons. But when a guy like that, I'm a baseball guy, so even though I love the Cubs, like, I'm just like, I will watch probably 12 games a week, and 4 or 5 of them will be Cubs games, and then whatever else is on, I'm watching it because I just love the game that much. When I see a guy like Christian Yelich come up, even though he's playing for the Brewers, if it's not a tight game and he can't, affect the outcome, like, I want to see him do something cool. I want to see Christian Yelich do something good. Is there a better player and maybe even a better guy off the field right now in the game than Christian Yelich?
I don't know. That guy is every bit of who he is. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's a fan favorite. I mean, he gives props to his teammates. He says does everything right, and he's an exceptional player. I was actually here in Milwaukee for Fan Fest that year. He got picked up, and like the day before they picked him up, and they brought him and Lorenzo Cain, and I got to meet him. And I mean, he was just a nice, humble dude that was excited, and he's the same way now. But I think you talk about being a baseball guy. I think you can. There's a certain level of, yes, you're a fan. Like, I'm going to be a fan of the Brewers. I'm working for the Brewers. They're paying me to be a fan. No, just but the idea there is you want to see good baseball. That should be your if you're a real baseball fan, that should be your goal every time you watch a game. You want to see good baseball. And what is that? That's guys going out there and competing, doing the best they can, showing off their talent and their skills. And to me, that's one thing that you just, when Yelich is at the plate, you have to sit there and watch him because you don't know what he's about to do. He may do something really special. I got to see one of his cycles in 2018. I was actually at the game, and I'm just, that's him. At any moment, you have to watch players like that because they're special and you don't know what they're going to do next.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, you know, as a fan, you want to see something special happen. But I was at the game on Wednesday, and look, Woodruff and Hendricks were both dealing. I mean, it was a great game.
Oh, yeah.
Pitchers duel through 7 innings. And I texted Tori because Woodruff had a no-hitter into the 7th. And I said, I texted him, I said, I repeat, Woodruff, and I'm trying to jinx it now, like, because I know I want to see something special. Like, I want to see, if he would have no-hit the Cubs, I'd have been like, you know, that sucks. The Cubs got no-hit. But I would have been like, wow, I got to see a no-hitter live. You know what I mean? Like, so the fan in me would have been like, damn, that sucks. But the baseball guy in me would have been like, man, that was awesome. But I did. I messaged him, and I said, you know, and I was like, I repeat, Woodruff has a no through 6, and then Happ, you know, came out and broke it up. So, but
we can't repeat what I said back to you.
Yeah, I can't repeat that live on the air. We could talk backstage about it for sure, but he definitely had something to say. But no, it's one of those things that as a baseball guy, like you said, you always want to see something cool happen. You always want to see, you know, something great. Like you want to be at you know, the 62 home run, you know, when Sosa or McGuire hits number 62, no matter who you're a fan of, you want to be there. A perfect game, you want to be there. And one of the things that I've noticed as a fan growing up is that fans are stupid. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, fans, you know, I would say probably about 65% of them don't even know what's going on during the course of a game because they're either drinking or they're, you know, watching the kids run around or doing whatever they can. So as players, how much do the fans, when you're at an opposing stadium, how much do you let them get in your head before you start talking back? Because I do see some players, like I saw Lorenzo Cain chirping with some of the guys in center field, some of the fans in center field the other night. How much, like, have you ever gone back and forth with a fan joking around?
Yeah, no, I grew up in the clubhouse. My dad was a player. Then he was a coach. All I've ever known is the clubhouse, and that's just kind of part of the game. Like, if you don't like to get yelled at, then maybe this isn't the right job for you, you know? And I would say a lot of times guys just don't even pay attention at all. One time we were at Wrigley playing catch. This was probably 2008, and there were fans when we were playing catch, you know, probably an hour and a half before the game, and we're just sitting there, and we're just getting yelled at, all of this. They're just going down the line. Gallardo, you're blah blah blah. They're saying some really awful stuff, and they're just going down the line. I'm throwing next to Ben Sheets. I'm just sitting there going. I started noticing that everybody's wearing like a hoodie, like no one's wearing their jersey, and I'm the only pitcher wearing a jersey. And then it dawns on me that's the reason they're not doing that, because they, you know, they're covering up their, you know, people don't know who they are outside of a jersey. So anyway, they're going down the line. They get to Ben Sheets, and they're just like, man, they're laying into him. They're talking about his family and all sorts of stuff. And I was just like, I can't believe I'm trying to play catch. And then they're like, hey, Dillard, we don't know who you are, but I bet you're terrible. And I'm like, yeah, I am kind
Dude, I can't let stuff like that go. I'd be like, you want to compare paychecks?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. So I talked to Sheets afterwards. We're in the clubhouse, and I was like, dude, I would have climbed the ivy, man. I've climbed the ivy, you know. And I was talking to him like, you weren't upset. He was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, did you not hear what they were saying about you, like in the stands just a while ago? He was like, who was up there? Like, completely had no idea what was going on. And I think once you reach a certain level, it just doesn't matter. And nobody's really ever. I mean, people have yelled at me, and I don't say anything back. Most of the time, I'm just kind of like, okay, cool, you know. But here's the thing about baseball: you can be as in depth of a fan as you want to be. If you just like showing up because you get to, you know, drink beer and eat hot dogs, like I like to do that too. So I've actually done that since I've been here. Short season, but I'm already been here doing that. So you can be that fan, or you can be the stat guy that digs into every little thing and figure out how many right-handed ground balls left-handed relievers got in the 6th inning after 2 outs with a man on third. Like, you could find that out if you wanted to. So there's so many different levels of being a fan. I think that's what I love so much about baseball is it doesn't discriminate. You can be 5-year-olds, like my kid and play t-ball, and you can be 80 years old and play, a men's league. And everywhere in between. It doesn't discriminate. Whoever you are, whatever your talent is, tall, short, thick, wide, skinny, it doesn't matter. Baseball's for you. And so that's the same with fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that I always like is when you get on YouTube and you see some of the fan interaction where it's not like they're yelling bad things, but the players will come back and be hit a home run and then walk back and point at the guy who was just, chirping them or whatnot. And I actually had one of those. Yeah, I had one of those altercations when I got out of the Marine Corps back in 2003, I moved to New Hampshire for a little while, and they got the New Hampshire Fisher Cats up there, and Dustin Pedroia had come to down with the Portland Paw Sox. And Dustin Pedroia, the guy's 5'6", 5'7" on a good day, and he looks, really tiny, and he was young at the time, and he was a shortstop. So he grabs a bat, and I'm sitting front row, and I'm like, why is the bat boy swinging a bat? And he glared at me, and it was a legit question because I thought he was the bat boy. And that day he went 5 for 5 with 2 home runs and 3 doubles. And after he hit his last home run, he's walking across his home plate, walks to the dugout, and the whole time he locks eyes with me and doesn't take his eyes off me all the way through the dugout. So I was like, lesson learned. As a fan, you kind of you didn't know at the time, but when you say something. That was my first interaction. Hey, these guys actually hear what you say sometimes. That's why I've always kept it professional. When I go to games and stuff like that, I'll chirp, I'll joke around, especially with other fans of other teams and stuff like that. I joke around with Tori all the time too, And when you start getting personal with the players, or you start screaming stupid stuff out there, man, I almost want to throw you out in the field just so they can kick your butt. I want to see the whole team jump you, so I kind of want to throw you out on the field. And that's one of those, I'm glad that at that time he didn't understand or didn't even pay attention to what they were saying, because that type of stuff needs to stay away.
Maybe you just had ketchup on the side of your face, and he was just walking back after hitting his home run.
Yeah, that could have been what it was. Tori, you got anywhere else you want to go with this?
Well, you just talk over them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes the voice cuts out. Sometimes, my bad.
No. I was just gonna say, I was in A-ball in 2004, and we had some college kids that were just by the bullpen. They were yelling at us, and we don't really care. Nobody cares, honestly. It's just all in good fun. We're used to it. Players are used to it. It's not a big deal. But these particular guys, about 3 or 4 of them, they were just getting really, really rated R, let's say.
Yeah.
And there was there's families around. There's kids. There's kids coming to ask for balls, and they think they're being fun by yelling profanity. So I told one of the kids, I was like, hey, man, you want a ball? And the kids were like, yeah. I was like, okay, go tell the security guy in the concourse over there that these dudes are using bad words. And the kids were like, okay. So they went. Next thing you know, security guy comes down. Those college kids didn't let up. And sure enough, they kicked them out. But that comes from just why can't we just enjoy something, right? If you have to come there to shout negative remarks or racist remarks that we're getting down there, whatever it looks like, if that's what you have to do, you might not want to do it in a baseball setting because there's kids around, there's families around. They're wanting to enjoy it for the sheer entertainment value. So it's not really players don't really care about that stuff. It's more or less how it comes off, from you and all the people around you. So I don't know. I want it to be a fun place. I have kids. I want my kids to go to a game and enjoy it.
Yeah, you always get those guys who want to take it too far. That's why I enjoy some of there's a lot of funny banter. The other day, the Angels fans got a little bit crazy with the Astros in town, and they threw Yeah, a rubber.
saw that.
But they brought up a blow up trash can and threw it on the field before they threw a real one. So that to me, that type of stuff is kind of funny. The Oakland A's playing Carrie Underwoods before he cheats while they were announcing the Astros lineup was another good one. That is just good jeering. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff that I like. But some of these people get a little bit too personal.
I just want to know, where did they get a real? Did they like steal a real trash can from the stadium to chuck on the field? How do you sneak a trash can in?
It looks like they took a recycling bin.
So
feel like
touched
I've snuck a
earlier
trash
too
can.
about you touched earlier about like the injuries and stuff that you had. You didn't know what you were going to do in like 2013. In 2015, you were actually offered a coaching position with the Brewers and turned it down to sign another deal. What was the reason behind that?
It was actually 2014. I was approached by some of the guys in the front office. I was in Double-A at the time. I was the oldest guy in Double-A by like 7 years. And anyway, they were like, "Hey, you're probably done with your career, so why don't we just go ahead and start transitioning you into like a maybe a coach, maybe a roving coordinator, something like that type of role." And I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, "I did really good this year. My stuff was really good. It played really well." I was like, no, I don't think I'm ready for that. That's when I went and ended up playing in Venezuela and did awesome there. I was actually pitching some of the most important innings, even got a save, which it's really tough to get a save as a gringo when you're playing the most competitive winter league there is. And anyway, I did really well, and it was I came back home. It was just after Christmas, and the Brewers, I contacted them, told them, "Hey, man, I'm healthy. Look what I'm doing. I'm putting up good numbers. I'm striking out guys that are big leaguers." And so they're like, "Okay, we'll sign you to a minor league deal." So, each year has been different. I keep wanting to try to grind it out, but yeah, I've considered coaching and stuff like that. In that particular moment, I was like, "Nah, man, I got some left in the tank." It just didn't seem like the right time. But getting retiring like a month ago, like it was probably the right time. It was the right time. My wife told me it was the right time.
You always know it's the right time when the missus speaks up and tells you this is what's going to happen. Don't say no. I wear the pants in the house. She just tells me which ones to put on.
That's why I'm divorced twice.
Exactly.
So the other,
you're a Cubs fan.
That's true too.
So the other thing, the Brewers are kind of known, and you're basically legendary in Milwaukee for all your funny man stuff. Are you going to help coordinate any of the videos? Like, the Brewers did The Sandlot, they did Dumb and Dumber. Are you going to get in on any of that? And try to help coordinate any of that, choreograph a little bit?
I've been approached by the social media department or whatever, but they've actually had some turnaround, I think, in the last year or so. So I don't know if that's still like their goal on doing stuff like that. I find those videos hilarious, honestly, and I think it really goes to show you how extraordinary some of these guys are. Like, yes, they're some of the best in the world at their craft, but at the same time, they're humans that love movies, and they, some of them can act really well. So, I mean, I'm actually going to try to do whatever I can when I'm at American Family Field, because it's just sitting there for the most part, just waiting to just be filmed and have some fun. So I'm going to go down the slide. I'm going to try to run in the sausage race. I'm going to try to do everything I can because it's fun, man. It's baseball.
Yeah, absolutely. So you like all the funny man stuff. What's the best prank you've ever seen pulled on a baseball field?
That I've seen personally?
Yeah, or been a part of, or done yourself.
Oh, part of? I don't know. There's really not that many, guys don't really go out of their way to do pranks anymore. I've seen it go wrong several times.
Left turn.
There's small pranks of just, whatever, like lighting a shoelace on fire, like that kind of used to be the thing. Or like you take, a cup and you line it with gum and then stick it on their hat. That kind of stuff is fun. Yeah. I'll tell you the first one I saw go really wrong was there was a guy that was he was like the last one in the clubhouse and first one out, right? Like nobody really, you don't ever be that guy. Don't be the guy that barely shows up on time and then is the first one out after the game. But anyway, rubbed somebody the wrong way, so they decided, okay, well, during the game, I'm going to take all this stuff, dunk it in water, and then put it in the freezer. So,
oh no,
like his street clothes. It's like jeans and shirt, and all that.
Oh, man.
And everyone's kind of in the dugout, kind of laughing, like, oh, because he's one of those guys that's going to get really mad. And I was just like, I don't think that was a good idea, but that would be fine. And the guy was really upset because his wallet was in his jeans, and I think he had a cell phone at the time. I think those were around. So like, it seemed like a harmless joke, but then all of a sudden it's like, this is like, my wallet of my family. My photos are ruined.
Right.
That kind of stuff. I don't know. There's all sorts of pranks you can do out there that are not harmful, but they're just not as big time that you see. The best one I ever heard is the one that Cody Decker did to, I forgot who it was, maybe Jeff Francoeur. When they were in El Paso in AAA, he convinced him that one of the pitchers in the bullpen was deaf. So for like an entire season, Jeff Francoeur would go to this pitcher and be like, "Hey man, how are you?" And the guy would be like, but I mean, it's kind of funny, but like to keep that up for so long, like they did, is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I know Cody Decker, and I've met Francoeur once, and Pat Murphy was the manager. He's the bench coach of the Brewers now. So like, when you have those people come together and kind of put on this kind of skit that lasts for so long, I mean, it's pretty genius and definitely memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Tori, you got anything else?
Your lapel pins, do you got a different one for every game, or do we have to scrounge up and like just send you stuff? Because the I don't know what I'm doing one was great.
Yeah, very scary, accurate. Yeah. I don't know. I asked when I got the job, I was like, can I wear a lapel pin? And they're like, yeah, that's okay. And I was like, can it say whatever I want? And they're like, to a degree. I was like, I'll keep it PG, but like, I want to wear a different lapel pin for every game. And they were like, okay, sure, cool. That's fine. Whatever. It seems ridiculous, but sure. So I just started looking at lapel pins online and going to stores and got a bunch of them. And I mean, I find them hilarious. I actually let Craig Kashan pick them out most of the time. Brian Anderson picked one out the other day. He was like, you got to wear this one. So I did it. And he brought it up on the air, the one that says, I have no idea what I'm doing. But the other day, the Brewers won a game when I was wearing my popcorn pin. So what do I have to do, right? I have to wear it the next day. I don't want to be the guy that breaks the streak. So they won another game. So I wore it yesterday, but they lost. And anyway, so no more popcorn pin for now. But
so
it's fun. Send them to me. If you have a good one, send it to me. I'll wear it.
If I send you a W flag, a Cubs W flag, will you wear it after a time that the Cubs beat the Brewers?
Probably not. I'll turn it upside down to an N.
It's worth a shot.
maybe if it's the L flag, you can send the L flag.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, Tim. Hey, man, I appreciate everything. You coming on the show, giving us some of your time. We need to make this a regular thing, man, because this was really fun.
Awesome. I'm in. Yeah, I just got to change my my clothes, put it in the dryer.
Hey, yeah. Hey, anytime you're at the laundromat, give us a call. We'll set something up.
like I said,
laundry with
Pat
Tim.
McAfee's got
See what I got.
Tuesdays with Aaron. We got Time Out with Tim.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs here. That was an interview with Tim Dillard. Combs, I always like when you do your interviews there, like during the day, just because like I get to sit back and relax and just have like a raw reaction to everything. And Tim is definitely a guy that I would sit down and have a beer with, and I feel like it'd be nonstop laughs for hours upon end. Like he just seems like a really genuine guy.
He would fit in great with the Man Hour, man. He would, like, we could all go there, and with the way that our humor is, and the way that we joke around with one another, Tim is definitely one of those guys I could see myself being friends with, just because he has that mentality, the same mentality that you and I have.
Right.
And that was a great interview. How about the prank where he made Jeff Francoeur think the guy was deaf for an entire season?
First things first, it takes so much planning and like communication from like point A to point point B to make that happen. And then, the minor league season is a couple months shorter than the major league season, but you're still looking at 6, 7 months, Combs. Like, you have to pretend you're dead for 7 months. Like, how does that work out, man? Sheesh, man, that is ridiculous. But so that's a couple things that I pulled from that interview is like, you are okay with cheating if everybody's doing it, but if one person is doing it, you're not okay with.
That is not what I said.
Yeah, you are.
What the difference between the steroid era, because it wasn't just one person cheating, everybody was cheating. Everybody was using steroids, and back then it wasn't cheating because there were no rules against it. There was no testing against it. It was not cheating back then. But when it comes to what the Houston Astros did, it's a different form, and it's actually more egregious because of the way they went about it. Hiding cameras in center field to steal sign, like doing the stuff that there are legitimately rules against doing. The Houston Astros went out and did it.
You are only mad because they got caught. I mean, like, let's just be honest. Like, you people are only
we
mad
only
that they
know
got
about it because they got caught.
Right. So like, I passively defended the Astros on the like on the whole trash can thing, just because, you know, like, they were kind of playing in like the gray area per se, but I did not take the injury aspect into it. Like, hearing Tim speak on that, like the injury aspect of it never really occurred to me that a pitcher could probably get killed because they know a pitch is going to come, right?
And not only that, but like what he said about, you know, a young kid coming up and trying to make it, a young pitcher trying to make it, and now he gets crushed, and now he gets sent back down to AAA and never makes it back to the bigs again.
Yeah.
Because you guys were stealing his signs.
Yeah, those are 2 point of views that, like, as a fan, like, I didn't think of, like, oh, like, this is hurting somebody else just besides somebody, you know, me. Like, obviously, Astros winning the World Series. What's that?
It means you didn't listen to me when we first talked about this, because those are 2 points that I brought up.
You never brought up the injury aspect or the sending back down to the minors.
I absolutely, positively, I think I brought up
HR.
But I definitely 110% brought up the one about somebody getting sent down because of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I must have been pulling a white because I did not hear you say that at all. 100%.
Yeah, you must have been on your phone while we were doing the show.
So actually, fun fact, my dad actually called during the interview, and he had surgery today. He had major heart surgery, and he is out and doing well. He is in ICU and in recovery for the next few days. So that's a big stress relief off of me and obviously, like, we're not out of the woods yet, but it definitely big sigh of relief. But let's go ahead and continue our baseball talk here, Combs. This is the Hump Day Blues portion of the show, and you are going to tell me some teams that are, you know, just not performing well, or players that are just not performing well. We are in midweek here, and, you know, Hump Day Blues is upon us. So give me a team or player that just isn't doing well so far this week.
Well, let me start here with the Washington Nationals, who started out their season 1-0 after dealing with COVID, and then had 10 guys go on the COVID list, but are now 2-5. And in that time, they've been outscored 29-22. Ooh. So the Nationals are the first team that are on my Hump Day Blues, and they need to turn around. They started turning around today with the win. You know, they won their first game, then lost 5 in a row. They won today against the St. Louis Cardinals, so I was very happy to see that. Kyle Schwarber came back off the COVID list and had a big day, so hopefully they're turning this thing around and can make this division as good as we expected it to be, because it has not been a very good division through the first week.
Right.
But I think it's going to turn around and be everything that we expected it to be, moving forward.
So, speaking of them, didn't they just play the Dodgers in Strasburg? And who were they playing?
No, they played the Phillies, and then give me 1 second here. They played the Phillies, and then after the Phillies, they went on to play the Braves, and they did play the Dodgers. You are correct.
Yeah, because it was
they lost 3 straight to the Dodgers, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Braves.
Yeah, because it was they were hyping the game of the 2 top pitchers. It was Strasburger,
Strasburg and Bueller.
and Bueller. So, I was
and that
actually
game
looking
ended in a
forward
1-0 game.
Yeah. So do you think they can turn it around next week and kind of get back on the right path and possibly making it a competitive division?
I do. I mean, they've got the Cardinals. They're playing right now, and so I do think that they can turn this around. They've got to just start hitting the ball better. They haven't really hit very well. They haven't scored a ton of runs. Strasburg's facing Flaherty right now. Then they've got, after St. Louis, they go to Arizona, and then they get St. Louis again. So out of these next 1, 2, 6, 9 games, I mean, they hopefully, they should, being as good as they are, they should probably win 6 or 7 out of those 9.
We were speaking, I believe it was last week, when you were basically giving the Braves till the end of May to really turn things around and start to click. Are you giving them kind of the same time frame, till the end of May, or do they have longer to turn things around?
No, I mean, I don't expect them to be in the play. I had them out of the playoffs. I had them finishing, I believe, 4th, but I still had them with a good record. I just had them, finishing out of the playoffs.
Right.
However, I mean, the Braves have already turned it around.
Yeah.
And
they got hot quick.
I mean, really. And the way they played Philly in that last series, look, Philly's going to be a good team all year round. Philly, the Braves, the Mets, and the Nationals, this thing's going to be really close all season long.
All right, so moving on to your next team and or player.
The Twins. Look, the Twins have gone 5-5 through their first 10 games, despite outscoring opponents 57-38. And they're still 5-5. So, it's not a horrible start for the Minnesota Twins. I did expect them to be better through this first part of their schedule. However, right now it's just the Twins are worse than what I thought that they were going to be, even to this point in the season. And I need to see more from the Minnesota Twins. To know that they're for real, that they are what I thought that they were.
So just to add to your point there, as they have scored, they're outscoring their opponents by 20 runs, combined throughout the whole season. Those numbers are kind of skewed a tad bit, just because they did have a few games versus the Brewers where they scored 8 runs. The Tigers, they scored 15 runs, and then versus the Mariners just the other day, they scored 10 runs. So when you beat a team 10-2, 15-6, and then 8-2, I mean, that definitely really adds on to that run total there, just a tad bit. So those numbers can be a little skewed, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And they haven't been as consistent as you would like to see. Now everybody in this division is pretty much at 500.
Right.
And it's one of those divisions we knew it was going to be bad. We said it about the NL Central and we said it about the AL Central. It's going to be 2 really bad divisions. And so far both of those divisions have proven us to be right, which leads me to my last team here. And I hate talking about this right now.
No, you don't.
But my Chicago
Cubs.
A 164 team batting average heading into tonight. 164 as a team. I mean, it is just so bad for the Chicago Cubs right now. The hitting is... And look, I did not expect, and I said this yesterday, I did not expect the 2016 Chicago Cubs to come walking through the door heading into this season. I knew it was going to be a tough season. I said that their pitching and their defense is what's going to be what wins them this division. And so far, their pitching and their defense have been great, but their bats have been so abysmal, so bad. And, they have twice as many strikeouts as they have hits right now. That's ridiculous.
That's
they
tough.
have 49 hits through their first 10 games. That's the least amount of hits in any 10-game stretch in the Major League Baseball since 1901.
Wow.
Like,
say that again. Just so people understand like how bad this is.
Yeah, 49 hits in 10 games is the least amount of hits in any 10-game stretch since 1901.
Wow.
That's 120 years since somebody has been this bad offensively through a 10-game stretch.
You were only 10.
Now, can they turn this thing around? Yeah, I mean, they're talented enough to turn this thing around. The problem is that the Cubs, since 2018, this is the team that they've been. They've been a team that gets hot and then gets cold, and then gets hot and then gets cold. But when they're cold, they're really, really cold. And you're holding down a guy like Nico Hoerner because of service time. You got to let him sit for 36 days so that you can bring him back up and then use the service time or whatnot. But that's a joke to me because Nico Hoerner was the best hitter on the Cubs roster in spring training. And instead of starting the season with him, you let him go. And Nico Hoerner is never going to be that guy who's going to command, $100 million. So you could always extend this guy. You could extend him probably for about 8 years, probably about $60 million is what you could extend this guy to. So you'd be getting a bargain, and you could extend it, and then you don't have to worry about service time. But I don't know, man. The business side of it is killing me. The Cubs, they need a spark. They need something, and I think that something is Nico Hoerner. They're just not going to get him until the middle of May, and by then it might be too late.
Yeah, because looking at their schedule moving forward, Combs, they're getting ready to lose to the Brewers again here for the 5th time so far this season.
It's 2-1 in the 5th. You calm yourself down, buddy.
But I'm just saying it is not looking good for them. And then they travel, or like in their at home playing a very hot Atlanta team, a good New York Mets team, and they're at home versus the Brewers, and then back on the road versus the Braves again. This is a tough next 2 weeks for the Cubs. 100%. So, fun fact here, Combs. If they lose tonight, they will be in last place in the NL Central. How do you feel?
It's not really a fun fact, but it's one of those things where, especially these games against the Brewers, you've got, I believe it's 12 games between now and the end of May between you and the Brewers. You've got to win some of these games. You can't keep losing series to the Brewers and expect to be able to compete in this division. I expected it to be the Cubs and the Brewers in this division. I said that at the beginning of the season. I think it was going to be the Cubs and the Brewers battling it out. I had it finishing, 2-game differential. So I knew it was going to be a close division. I don't know. I didn't expect the Cubs to be historically bad to start the season. And that's what they've been. So I've got a couple players here, and there might be a little bit of a tendency or a track here, so maybe you guys can figure it out.
Well, let's go ahead and just get our beers ready, boys, because you're going to be talking a lot about the Cubs. Let's move it on.
So, Anthony Rizzo,
drink
batting 118. He is 4 for 34 to start the season.
Wow.
4 for 34 coming into tonight. Now, look, he's always started slow. Always. He's one of those guys who doesn't get hot till June. But I mean, 118, 4 for 30. That's horrendous. You can't hit like that. The other guy on this list is David Bodie. He's got a .087 average. Let me say that again. .087. A 214 on base percentage.
Is that like one hit all season in Combs?
I think it's 2. I think he's got 2.
Jeez, man.
He's got a 432 on base plus slugging, which is, abysmal. That's your on base percentage plus your slugging percentage rolled into one, and it's 432. You add the two numbers up, and you get 432. It's horrendous. Like you need to be above 700 to 800 in those stats.
So he does have 2 hits, but he does have 1 home run. So he's doing something right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So then you get to Jock Peterson, who's got a 129 average, 448 OPS, and 12 strikeouts through 10 games. As the Cubs and the Brewers are getting ready to clear benches because the Brewers pitcher just got through behind and he didn't like it. They've hit like 17 batters of the Cubs in the last week, and they get one guy who doesn't even get hit. It just got thrown behind him, and he's all mad. So
good.
Suck it up. Yeah.
That way.
Hit him next time. I'd hit him with this pitch right here. That's what I would do.
He going.
Hit him with this pitch right here.
He going.
Yeah. And then hit Torrey with it. Anyway.
So weren't you high on Jock Peterson though to like start the year?
I was. Yeah, and he was hot in spring. And so, I like Jock Peterson. I think he's going to turn it around. He's also one of the guys who, when they say, hey, what's going on with the team, blah, 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 he's like, look, when we get hot, this thing's going to be special. And so, maybe they're seeing something that we're not right now. You'd have to get hot for it to be special. The good news about what the Cubs are doing right now is they can't get any worse.
True.
So I guess that's the good news about the Cubs right now. But it's been bad. It's been horrible, man. It's been horrible. He was all on Jock's Jock. Look, I still like Jock. I love Jock Peterson. I love the kid as a ball player. I like the way he plays the game. I like the way he handles himself. So yes, I'm a big Jock Peterson fan.
Yeah. So you basically gave us 3 Cubs players that were basically not living up to par, and the whole Cubs team right now is in your Hump Day Blues as well. I mean, if you guys listen to Sunday night show here when Combs had Hoffy on, let me change a view here, just so we can give you guys something fresh to look at over here at youtube.com/manhour. Are you kind of panicking a little bit too early on the Chicago Cubs here, Combs? Because they are 4-6.
No.
I mean, they are just a game below 500 here. They are in a division where like right now, a very, very weak Reds team is leading that division. So eventually they're going to come crashing back down to reality. The Pirates still aren't doing. I think the Pirates are 3-7 right now, maybe 3-8. And then you are playing the Brewers here, which
all 3 of their wins are against the Cubs.
Yeah, so I mean, like, are you maybe pushing the panic button a little too early?
No, because this team has been the same team 2018, 2019, 2020, and they have nothing in the organization right now other than Nico Horner coming up. They've done nothing to improve where their flaws are at, other than Jock Peterson. Like they've made 0 moves to improve this team. They keep resting on the fact that, hey, these guys are really talented. At some point they might break out of it. But look, something's not working. At this point right now, the way that they are trending by the trade deadline, they are going to be sellers at the trade deadline. You're going to say goodbye to Chris Bryant. You're probably going to say goodbye to Anthony Rizzo. And I just don't know what you're getting in return for those guys, especially if they're still struggling by the trade deadline. What is their stock at that point? What are you trying to get for, a Chris Bryant? What are you trying to get for an Anthony Rizzo, who are, perennial all-stars typically, who, are really the faces of your team? And you're going to end up having to trade them because you're not re-signing Chris Bryant. You're not giving Chris Bryant the 10-year, $380 million that he's going to be looking for because he's a Scott Boras guy, which I think is absolutely asinine. There's no way you can give him more than $8 and $280, which is what Nolan Arenado got, and Nolan Arenado is a far better third baseman right now than Chris Bryant has been over the last 2 to 3 years. So you can't give him more than you gave Nolan Arenado, but that's what he's seeking. So by all right, I would have traded him. I said this before last season. Actually, I said it before the 2019 season. I would trade him because he's a Boras guy, because you're not going to be able to extend him. You've got to get rid of him. And the Cubs need to do something to rebuild their farm system. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, could they turn this thing around? Sure. They're talented enough to turn this thing around. But that same talent is the talent that has been underperforming for the last 4 years. So maybe at this point they just are who they are.
So I want to jump over here to the comment section here. Stacy is a huge Cincinnati fan. She is a Reds fan through and through. She has always been supporting the Reds every time we talk bad about them, every time here on the show. And I just want to point out some things about the Cincinnati Reds.
They're not good
to start the season so far. Look who they have played. They played the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals,
No pitching.
They have no pitching in. I believe, Combs, you and Hoffy both had them finishing fourth in the division, right? Third or fourth. So
We have them finishing third.
Yeah, I mean, in a very, very bad NL Central there. And then they played the worst team in the division, when the Pittsburgh Pirates, and they thumped them 14-1, 11-4, 5-3. I mean, you beat a bad team. And then they traveled out west, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Diamondbacks there. And the Diamondbacks aren't a horrible team, Combs, but they are not there yet. They are a couple years off to even being competitive, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, now they are playing a series with the San Francisco, not the 49ers, but the Giants here. Yes, they won the first game, and they played late tonight at 10 o'clock. So we don't know the outcome of that. But looking at their schedule moving forward, they play the Indians, the Diamondbacks again at home, and then they play the Cardinals. All 3 series that they should probably win here, Combs. So,
yeah, they're going to start off hot. They've had an easy schedule to start. Out of all of the teams in this division, they've had the easiest go of it lately. The Cubs and the Brewers are playing one another, and the Cardinals they went through the Reds, and they went through the Braves, and then so the Cardinals are playing the tougher schedule than the Reds are as well. The Reds will come back down to earth. Look, the Reds are a good young solid core. Like, they've got some really good young players on that team. They're not ready yet. I mean, could they pull something off in this division though, because of how bad this division is? Sure.
Right.
It wouldn't completely shock me, and I said that when we did our thing. We said that, me and Hoffy both said it wouldn't surprise either one of us if the Reds are the surprise team of 2021 because of that young core and because of how bad this division really is.
Yeah, and then just just to add some points there is, like, you think they could be a surprise. They do have some World Series experience on their team too, some players that have been there, and kind of won the big dance, and Mike Moustakas, and they also have Joey Votto, which is a veteran for the Reds there. He's been at the Reds as long as I can remember. So they definitely have that veteran presence there. So, I mean, they could stay hot. I mean, their schedule doesn't look that tough.
Look,
in the first half of the
Eugenio
season.
Suarez, Mike Moustakas, Joey Votto, Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. He's a phenomenal catcher, very good offensive catcher as well. You've got they've got a couple of outfielders in Nick Senzel, and there's another one, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but they've got some really good young players, and so this team could, they could be that team that's a couple years ahead of schedule or just pull something off, and they be the surprise team of 2021. It wouldn't surprise me. So, Stacy, enjoy the ride. And that's what I could tell you. I could tell you as a Cubs fan who's been through a lot of really, really tough seasons. When 2015 happened, I was just enjoying the ride. I wasn't expecting too much, but I was loving it. And again, I was enjoying the ride. And then 2016 happened. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen with the Reds, but just enjoy it. I mean, you've had so many down years over the last few that just enjoy the ride. I mean, have fun with it. Watch your team play and enjoy every minute of it. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and on the bright side, for all you Reds fans that are listening here on Big X Sports Radio, which you can listen to the Reds games every day here on Big X, the play-by-play, is that the Reds really don't have that stretch of season where they're playing top team after top team after top team. I mean, look at the Cubs. Just this coming week, what they play the Braves and the Mets, and then the Brewers, and then playing the Braves again, I think. So that they have 2 weeks where they could legitimately not win a game for 2 weeks. Now the Reds, they don't have that. They don't have that stretch. Their schedule is pretty friendly here. It looks like their toughest that their schedule gets is late May. They do play the Brewers, the Nationals, and then the Cubs and the Phillies all in a 2-week span. But that's also the dog days of summer there. The season is starting to grind on. So it could be.
Yeah.
I mean,
the Cubs schedule is really, really brutal.
Yeah.
Brewers, Braves, Mets, Brewers, Braves, then Cincy, then the Dodgers. Like, you've got a brutal next 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So they've got to start performing. And then when you look at the Cincinnati Reds schedule, you know, you look at what they've got going on over there, and they've got Cleveland, then Arizona, then St. Louis. Then they do play the Dodgers, but then they get the Cubs and the White Sox and Cleveland again, and then Pittsburgh, and then Colorado. So they've got a really... They've got a good chance to break out into a good lead here
Very favorable
in this
schedule.
division. And if you get into a good lead in this division, you could really run away with it.
And confidence is killer. So like anytime any team gets confidence, it is killer. Just like in the NFL, do not let a team into the playoffs because they can make some noise. So, Combs, we are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break, guys, we are going to talk a little bit about NBA and COVID protocols. So stay tuned here on the Man Hour. We're going to talk a little bit of NBA, and as Combs shakes his head because the Cubs are getting beat even worse now.
I just don't understand why, like, Jock Peterson and Javi Baez, I don't understand why any pitcher would ever throw either one of these guys anything in the zone, because they haven't proven that they can't not swing at anything that's outside of the zone. It drives me absolutely insane.
Tell us how you really feel, Combs, here after the break on Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Enjoy.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes with along with Brandon Combs tonight. Wyatt Williams is on location doing the voice for a track meet. I guess not the voice, would be the announcer.
Did you see what Nana said in the comments?
Yeah, that she can hear him from the house or something like that effect.
Yeah, she said that the stadium's like a mile away, but she's got her windows open, and she can hear Wyatt's voice carrying through the stadium.
So Wyatt needs to shamelessly plug the Man Hour after each race with the 100-meter dash well underway. The Man Hour would like
sponsored by Man Hour.
Yeah, we would like to present Winkers Wright with his gold medal. Congratulations, Winker Wright. Yeah, I mean, come on, Wyatt, come on, do your thing, Wyatt. We put you in these situations to succeed, and you let us down each and every time. Sheesh. No, I'm totally kidding.
We got to let you know, Wyatt. We gotta, you've got to just think on your feet.
Right.
And when by me thinking on your feet, you gotta be like, and this next Man Hour 300-meter race is.
Yeah, and she should be wearing his Man Hour logo tee, which you guys can find over at manhourradio.com.
Hopefully,
he should
he's
be
wearing a
that
baseball tee, so everybody can ask him, "Hey, where'd you get that shirt?"
Yeah.
Those things are sharp, man.
Yeah. So Nana actually ordered 4 or 5 of them, and they should be coming in hopefully soon for her, man. And I wear mine everywhere, and and my wife calls it vain or something like that. Like, I'm being vain. I don't quite know what vain means.
No, you're not being vain. What you are is you're being a walking billboard.
Yeah. I
that's
don't know what vain means.
That's why places sponsor softball teams. You know
Right.
what I mean? Because if I'm walking into a 7-Eleven after a game to pick up a Gatorade or a case of beer or whatever, the person standing in line's like, "Hey, where's that place at? I've never heard of that place." You know what I mean? Like, you're a walking billboard. You're a free advertisement.
So if you guys could, definitely sponsor the show by heading over to manhourradio.com and pick yourself up some merchandise. Or if you missed any part of the show whatsoever, you guys can find us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. Or youtube.com/manhour. Hit that subscribe button if you upload the clips each and every day. So, Combs, during the break, I got this interesting text message. There are scammers all sorts and sizes here, and we all know about your car warranty is expired, or your student loans are and default, and all this stuff. This is the first time that I've ever gotten a text. And hey, your name is on these FEO fund. You can claim $327.16 now. First of all, I mean, first things first is they spelled own wrong, like they put the number 0 instead of just the actual O, right? And red flag 1 there. But to have such a weird number like $327.16, do they think since it's just an odd amount, hey, it's not $400, but hey, $327,
Yeah.
Why not? Let me
So-
click on it.
My favorite thing to do is to answer those calls and then mess with the guys. But
Yeah.
they'll call me about your extended car's warranty. And they're like, "Hi, your extended car warranty." I was like, "Really?" I said, "Because my car's a 2021. It's got 4,000 miles on it. I mean, I can't imagine that the warranty's dying." They're like, "Oh," click. And they don't even give you a chance. Like,
Yeah, and the
Like-
funny thing is it like it has always comes from like a local. So like here, like it always comes from like a 812 area code, and you answer it, and you're like hello, and it goes boink. Like like it takes for like it takes a while for it to go through the VPN and connect, and boink. You're like instantly, I'm like, okay, know exactly where this is going, 100%.
yeah.
Congratulations, man. Like at what point are people still falling for that like car insurance stuff or?
People fall for everything, man. That's why they do it, is because
Yeah.
people call. You know how sometimes you get a phone call and then you answer it and you're like, "Hello," and nobody answers you on the other end. Do you know why they do that? Now, for those of you that
Because
don't
they're
know,
charging you like per minute, aren't they, or something?
no, they're waiting for. So you know how some people answer the phone, they'll be like, "Yeah," or "Yes." They're waiting for those people because they're recording you on the other line. So if you answer the phone with "Yes," and they've got you on recording, now when they go to use like your credit card or your information, and they say, "Do you authorize this purchase?" They've got your voice on recording saying yes.
Wow, I didn't know
So-
that.
Yeah, that's one of the things that a big scam that has gone around for years and years. So it's just you gotta take precaution. I always do the thing where if I don't know the number or if you come up private, that's
Right.
my big thing. If you come up private, I'm respecting your privacy and I'm not answering the call.
But they're calling you, right? No.
Yeah,
It's just I
so-
don't know. I hate people.
Yeah,
Like, I hate people.
I don't. People are just scummy sometimes. Like some of those people who you can't work on your own, so you gotta steal other people's stuff. Is just it's annoying because then they can steal your stuff in a matter of seconds, but it takes you like 30 to 60 days to get it all back.
Yeah.
It's,
So, fun fact here. So, I went to Taco Bell before the show on Monday's show, right? And they forgot. So, first things first, if you guys haven't been to Taco Bell and ordered on the app, don't do it. It is completely bogus, completely stupid. Like, I ordered on the app and say, "Oh, you can walk right in and pick it up." You still got to stand in line, and 9 times out of 10, they haven't made it yet till you show up. It was absolutely ridiculous. But they forgot my quesalupas. I mean, the only thing that I wanted out of it was the quesalupas, and I ordered 3 of them because those things are freaking delicious. You guys haven't had them; they're delish. So I give them my card. They swipe it. It's like $20 because I bought Cindy some food and like and the boys, and you always get those cinnamon twists for later. Pro tip: put the cinnamon twist in the freezer. Eat them cold.
ooh,
A1. So, anyways,
Man.
so they didn't give me my quesalupas. So I drive 10 minutes back to Taco Bell, and they tried to give me the ones that have been set on the counter for 20 minutes. I'm like, no, like make me a new one. Like you guys messed up, you didn't give it to me. Make me a new one that is fresh. And like, well,
Right.
no, we're going to give you this one. I'm like, just give me my cash back. So. First things first is they swiped my card to like give me the cash back, but they charged me again. So I got charged $20 twice, and then I'm still waiting for the money to be put back on the card. So they take the money off instantly, but it's taking like 8 business days to get back on the card. I'm like,
Right.
like what?
Yeah.
What? How does that work? You can take it like that, but it takes 8 days to process to put it back on the
See,
card. That's so dumb.
Aubrey, my lovely stepdaughter, loves her food cold. Like she goes to Burger King, gets a Whopper, puts it in the fridge,
That's weird.
and then once it's cold, she grabs it and eats it.
I don't understand that.
She likes her stuff. Like she likes her Whoppers cold. She likes her chicken nuggets. If she gets nuggets from, she loves Chick-fil-A. Those chicken nuggets, she'll eat them hot. But then she'll put like whatever she doesn't eat. I always get her the 30-piece chicken nugget as well. Which, by the way, guys, if you order a 30-piece chicken nugget meal at Chick-fil-A, it's like $25. It's
Wow.
ridiculous.
Actually, that's a pretty
So-
good deal. I mean, that's only like 75 cents a like a nugget.
Buck. Come on.
Hey, man. Michelle says
So-
there's nothing wrong with that.
Then she puts her nuggets in the fridge and then eats the rest of those cold. Like to me, that's weird. Like there's no way I'm eating a cold Whopper.
No.
Nuggets, maybe. I might throw a cold nugget in and eat a couple of cold nuggets.
Not like
But a
icebox
cold
cold, but
Whopper?
like room temperature cold. Like I could eat it like room temperature cold.
Not a Whopper. For me, the Whopper's got to be hot.
Yeah,
but
well, I'm talking strictly chicken here, like chicken and nuggets.
What's your favorite food to eat cold?
Pizza.
Yeah,
I mean,
for me it's spaghetti.
So
I like
actually,
cold spaghetti.
I mean, I never had cold spaghetti, but so like chicken from like an actual chicken. So like when you cut like a chicken breast and like you have like extra meat from like from like the holidays, I do like to eat that cold and pour some ranch on it, dip it and eat it with like ranch. But
so you don't like you've never had cold spaghetti?
No. Usually we don't have leftover spaghetti at the house because we destroy that. Absolutely destroy the
yeah,
spaghetti.
it's usually me too. But I see you usually just pour your sauce and side of your noodles
mix it all together.
Yeah, no, not me.
So fun fact, Combs.
Crock pot full of sauce, man.
I'm off work like all week, and I've been working on some troll videos for the Man Hour here. So you guys might be in a special treat for next week. So teach you guys how to cook and make some ramen. It's going to be delish, man. It's going to be delish. Speaking of trolling and whatnot, NBA players have come out and said that this year has. Sorry, I got to address this comment. What kind of psychopath eats her spaghetti cold?
This guy right here, Tori Anderson.
Yeah, normally I can kind of skim past those comments, but but this one just got me run. He's going to get you in your sleep. But, oh man! So the NBA here, they are dealing with a rash of injury, Combs. So people that don't know, the NBA started late last year because of the whole COVID protocol. Well, they started and then they stopped and then they started again. Shoot, it was probably May, I think, when they started back up with the whole bubble thing. And then they crowned the champion. And Combs, correct me if I'm wrong, it was sometime in October, if I'm not mistaken, because football season was well underway. So, and then they started the regular season back up in November, early December. So they literally had a month and a half off to prepare their bodies for the next season. With that being said, there have been a rash of injuries through the NBA this season, and most recent was a probably a star, like at least a star here in the Southern Indiana here. Jamal Murray went down with the ACL tear with the Denver Nuggets just the other night. So Combs, do you think the NBA was wrong by starting their season back up so soon after just ending the previous season?
How deep are we into this season?
Oh, it started in November, December, so we're looking at 4 or 5 months here.
Okay. So we're 4 to 5 months in, and now an injury is happening, but we're going to blame it because they started too soon?
No, so there's been a rash of like injuries, but like this is the most recent one, and we saw it when old who are the Splash Brothers here? Not Steph Curry, but the one that tore his Achilles. Oh, what is his name? You guys know what I'm talking about here. Shoot, name's slipping my mind. But he played all of NBA season, played the FIFA World Cup series, and then came back the next season and tore his Achilles like that following playoffs. So, your body only lasts for so long. And just be
Klay Thompson
before you go. Yeah, it is Klay Thompson. I saw Anthony Davis on one, but it's not Anthony Davis. It's definitely Klay Thomas is who I'm talking about. But
so
go ahead.
But let me add, like, the injury bug. It's part of the game. Injuries happen. These guys have the best trainers in the world working on their bodies. They've got the best trainers in the world working them out. LeBron James has probably one of the craziest workouts throughout, the season that you'll ever see. And he still gets injured. Like, injuries happen. I don't think it has anything to do with starting the season so fast. Like, starting the season so fast is not a big deal to me. These guys get paid very, very handsomely.
Right.
And the league lost out on a ton of money last year. They need to be able to pay these players that make a ton of money. And so, no, I don't think that they started the season too early. The problem is that the players, they don't take the regular season seriously. So they don't play the regular season the way that they're just gearing up for the playoffs. So when you're doing something and you're half-assing it, you're more prone to get hurt. And that's what these players are doing. Nobody takes the regular season seriously in the NBA, which is a big part of the reason why I just I don't get into the NBA until playoff time. I've tried. I'll watch a game here and there now, but I just for me it's when come playoff time, sure I'll watch. But the regular season, the players don't care, so why should I care?
It is not that they don't. It is not that they they don't care, but it is just like Major League.
It is
baseball. I mean, sometimes you have to protect your body for an 82-game season, protect it for a 162-game season, because the season is so long and so drawn out, and you're playing so many games back to not back to back.
Should the NBA shorten their season up?
I think they should. I kind of like the whole bubble situation, like this past season when they only played 40 games, I think it was. I really let's be honest, in a basketball
I'm
time
all for
frame,
less basketball.
Being of course you are, but in a basketball mindset, it's either it is either that you got it or you're not. There's no clicking of a team and getting hot at the right time. It is a matter of turning on a switch and playing basketball to your full ability.
What if basketball started in November, and what if it was over by April?
That's how college basketball is, and I like college basketball. So I see the problem with that is you are directly rivaling football and opening day baseball right through all that point there. If the NBA,
you're rivaling NFL, but you're already doing that anyway,
right?
And then MLB opening day. I said if you're done by April, MLB opening day is usually the first week of April,
right?
I mean, last couple of years they've done it in late March, but at the same time, I mean, if the NBA Finals are on or opening day baseball is on, most people are going to watch the NBA Finals that night, as opposed to the one MLB game that might be on.
Let me ask you this question, because you are a March Madness guy. You love watching the tournament. You love filling out a bracket.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you want to do that route, the NBA Finals has to start March 1st, right? The exact same time as the March Madness NCAA tournament is happening. Are you going to watch the Finals or March Madness? Or the playoffs in general, I should say, because the Finals,
Yeah, I mean I didn't even think about that. That would be a tough thing for the NBA to do, to have their playoffs during March Madness.
I don't think they could compete.
I don't think they could either. I'd watch March Madness over the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I would. Simply because the March Madness is a single game and you're done, right? With the playoffs, you have at least 4 games that you can catch. Now if it is a game. If it's a game 7 versus the Chicago Bulls versus, I don't know, the Detroit Pistons or something to that effect in a conference championship game, or a Duke versus Kansas Elite 8 game, which one are you going to watch? Probably the Duke Kansas game, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's about the entry. What do I have more stake in? What do I have more money on? What do I have? Right. If it's Duke and Kansas, or if it's a 15 seed that's on a Cinderella run, I might watch the 15 seed that's on a Cinderella run. I'm one of those where I'd rather watch an upset happen, or I'd rather watch the underdog. You know me, I'm all about the underdogs.
Yeah.
Or say it's Duke versus Kansas in the championship game. Or it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals, and a team, an 8th seed is in there with a chance to win the NBA Finals. I'm probably watching the NBA Finals that night.
Yeah, I mean, I would be curious to see what people think. So, guys, if you are in the comments here, let us know. Would you rather watch a NBA playoff game, just like any game, 1 through 7, opening round versus Finals, or a March Madness NCAA tournament?
Of course,
game?
we also live in the age now let's be realistic. If I'm watching the NBA Finals and the March Madness is on, I've got one on the laptop, one on the iPad, one on the TV. You know,
but you only have
we've
one
got the
sound
ability
on.
to watch all of them.
Right. But you only have one sound on, which is on the TV. And 9 times out of like out of 10, the TV will dominate what is happening on your phone.
You
or
only
your
turn
laptop.
sound on one when you do that.
What's that?
I have the sound on all of them, albeit my laptop and my iPad will be a little bit lower.
Yeah.
But I want to listen for the announcer's voice to get louder because that will draw my attention to that game because something's going on.
Yeah, no, because so usually when I have when I have a laptop and the TV on, it is because like I'm watching my team, the Chiefs, like on the actual TV, and like then I have like a passive game like on the
Let's
laptop,
be honest.
and I only look
when
at
you've got a game on the TV and you've got your laptop on, it's because Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is on the TV,
Yeah.
and you're forced to watch the game on your laptop.
You're exactly 100% correct on that because you know you have had kids and you have seen my Snapchat stories and stuff like that. So fun fact, River brought his baseball bat into the house again, and
no.
I had the Royals game on, and like he's like,
Oh, no.
Dad, baseball, and he goes and whacks the TV again. I'm like, oh, kid, we've already been through 2 TVs. Do not do this again. Do not do. Luckily, it did not break. So
Like you've got to get one of those TVs that's encased in bulletproof glass.
but I don't understand it though, Combs. Like he hits the TV like on everything. I think it's because he thinks like he's used to like his like he does like these ABC games like on the tablet and stuff, and you can like touch it and move it. Like
Not everything's touchscreen.
Yeah, like I think maybe he thinks in the back of his head like, hey, this is a touchscreen. Only thing I could think.
I'd take all the bats and hide them, man.
Well, you can't because I'm trying to I'm trying to teach my son how to play baseball so I can retire in a couple years.
My son did it once. He took out a toy sword and was playing Ninja Turtles and threw his sword at the bad guy on the TV.
So what?
Yeah.
So basically, what we're saying is we all need projection screen TVs, so we can no longer have our TVs broken.
Yeah, either that or like I said, I mean, you got to put them like where the kids can't see them or reach them, or lock the kids out of the house,
or
let them play outside.
Flashback to 1980s, spanking with the belt. Do it again, boy! I dare you. Okay, Dad.
I don't know about all that. I mean, not promoting child abuse on the show. God, we've been canceled like 7 times this week, man.
Yeah, and it wasn't Wyatt's fault this time. But guys, we're going to take our last break. On the other side of the break, we're going to do some shop talk. Open it up for the fans here. If you guys want to talk about anything, let us know here in the comments. We'll bring it up. We'll talk about it. We'll chit chat about it. Anything you want over here at manhourradio.com. Check us out. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Wrong button. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs and I. If you missed any part of the show whatsoever, head over to iTunes, iHeartRadio, or Spotify. You can download the podcast form. Simply search Man Hour Sports Talk. It's the first one, the only one up there, the only Man Talk over there, or Man Hour, I should say. Or you can head over to manhourradio.com. Click on the podcast on there to play the whole show there. Or if you want to pick out a specific spot, I want to listen to the Tim Dillard interview only, Combs. Head over to youtube.com/Man Hour. Hit that subscribe button as we upload every section from the previous show up there on the YouTube throughout the day, the next day. So it's up there.
And
it's joined.
If you missed any part of the show, you're wrong.
You are wrong. What is wrong with you?
Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
we
work our butts off for this. Don't miss us.
That there should be no reason why you are not listening to us on Big X Sports Radio. You're like, oh, but Buck, my commute from work to home is only 20 minutes. Go to bigxsportsradio.com and click on Listen Live. You can carry us into the house. Simple as that.
Yes.
Simple as that.
There's no reason for you. Especially, here's one reason why you should never miss a moment of the show. Because you never know what the heck we're going to say.
Yeah, especially when it's just me and Combs. Like, you don't know when things are going to go left real quickly. But Combs,
a lot.
So I was scrolling through the old Twitter machine, and I got a great question to ask you after we answered this question from Tori Anderson. He says, better chips, chili cheese Fritos or Cheetos?
Absolutely, 100%. Not even a question. It's chili cheese Fritos.
There is a question for that.
The chili cheese Fritos are the best Fritos they ever made. And quite frankly, it's chili cheese Fritos because chili cheese Fritos are the best chip ever made.
So, fun fact, Fritos was like the first chip to be made along with Lay's. Me and Cindy actually watched the history of the potato chips just earlier this afternoon on the old History channel.
Fun.
And it was actually really interesting. So the only way Fritos
Were you trying to take a nap?
No, it was actually really interesting. But the only way Fritos got as big as they were is they signed a military contract to feed soldiers overseas in World War II. So without World War II and the military, Fritos would not be as they are today. Fun fact there. So, but
them chili cheese Fritos, man.
No,
Michelle says I already know Brandon's answer, Tori. It's chili cheese Fritos.
Well, first things first is chili on anything is trash. I dislike chili.
Oh,
100%.
You are out of your mind.
I mean, there's a reason why there is a joke that you are sitting in a beanbag chair naked eating Cheetos. Just because
Have you ever had chili dip? Like the chili on top of cream cheese?
No, that sounds gross.
Oh, my God. Oh, dude, you don't know what you're missing.
We talk so much food on this show. Like, I feel like I gain a pound every time we're on the show, Combs.
How about chili and cheese whiz on top of French fries?
I'm not a huge chili guy. Like, I'm not a huge
I like
guy.
the chili cheese fries, and then I put a little bit of ketchup on top of the chili cheese fries.
Let me restate that. I do like the flavor of chili and like the hamburger and like the sauce. I don't like the beans. Like I think it's like the texture of the beans I just don't like.
What about walking tacos? Have you never had walking tacos?
That's with like the Fritos and like cheese and everything on it.
Yeah, and you throw the burger. It's basically like a taco inside of a bag of Fritos. So the Fritos act as like the taco shell.
Yeah, I have never had that, but Cindy had it at the last time when we were at the Sellersburg Celebrates. So every time I go to like those festivals and stuff like that, the first thing that I go for, Combs, is the funnel cakes. Like that's what I want.
Yeah, I love funnel cakes. Funnel cakes and bloomin' onions.
Yeah, I've never had a bloomin' onion because I'm not a huge onion fan either.
Oh my God!
So
you don't know what you're missing.
So fun fact is like I'm from Kansas, and when I moved here, Cindy took me to Lanesville Heritage, which happens like every time, like around like every year, like around August or so. And she went and got this thing called a fried Snickers. Have you ever heard of a fried Snickers?
Yeah. Have you ever had a fried Snickers?
So that's the only reason why I go.
Deep fried Oreos, deep fried Milky, like
Twinkies.
Yes. The deep fried. Don't even get me going.
Yeah, man. So every time we go to Lanesville Heritage, that's the first thing that I do is I go directly to like where all the food trucks are. Is like I need a Snickers, a Oreo, and a Twinkie, fried.
I've got to figure out if I can make deep fried Oreos in my air fryer or not.
Yeah, I
wonder if that's a thing.
Wouldn't see why not. You just put like some breading on it and then fry it, right?
Well, no, it's usually pancake batter, but you know, and then you know
the diet that's worth
it. Deep fried, deep fried. I love it. So like when I eat M&Ms, like I throw the M&Ms in my mouth for a little bit, and I suck on them like they're a Jolly Rancher for a little while. That way, by the time I actually chew on them, the chocolate's just like all melted, and that's why I think I love like the deep fried Snickers. Is because the chocolate is like all melted underneath, and it's just
So what you're saying is you're really good at sucking on nuts.
Goodness. I said M&Ms.
Peanut M&Ms.
God, you are striving to get us kicked off of the air, aren't you?
All right, so Combs, let me bring up this thing that I saw on Twitter while I was scrolling on break to like finish the show up here. So first things first is I love how people make these quotes where they're like anonymous, right? Like put your name on it, like if you want to say it, put your name on it. But this particular person says that he doesn't see Aaron Rodgers playing on any other team besides the Chicago Bears moving forward. This is a anonymous NFL executive.
That anonymous NFL executive is?
Probably Ryan Pace.
Ryan Pace.
Yeah. But like we have heard rumors of Aaron Rodgers going to the Cowboys, going to the Patriots, and
He's
like the
not
Chicago
coming to
Bears.
Chicago. Stop it.
Like, does that even make sense?
Nobody wants to come to Chicago to play quarterback.
Nobody at all.
Nobody.
I mean, well, Andy Dalton does, and he might lead you guys to the playoffs.
That's because nobody else was going to hire Andy Dalton and say, "Hey, here, you want to be our starter?"
I don't know, man. Just like, but so like, how do you feel about like these anonymous quotes by like? Do you think people should like be able to?
There's a reason why it's anonymous. It's because if there's anything to it, you'll put your name on it.
Right. So like I kind of wish you would have asked him like about this like about this earlier, but like what about players like in like the clubhouse and stuff like that when they have like a anonymous players meeting and stuff like that, like how do you feel about those type of things?
I mean, players meetings are about the players. It's, hey guys, this is where we're at. This is what needs to happen. That's about accountability. You know, but if that player then if a player comes out and says, "Hey, you know, let's go and put our stuff out into the world and let's give a media member, you know, what we were talking about and keep it an eye." That's you know, what we call chicken shit. Like it just you're not a team guy at that point. You're a rat.
Yeah, so like I am a type of person that if I say anything, I will put my name on it 100%. Like you're not going to hear anything anonymous from me, like unless somehow, some way we get an insider tip, like into the Colts, and like I'll still put my name on it, but I'm not going to put the player's name on it, right? Just so you don't lose your sources and stuff like that. But Collins, we've had a good show tonight. It is time to wrap it up. We'll be here tomorrow, same time, same place, youtube.com/man hour. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the like button. But what else you got to say to end the show?
Man Hour Nation, rise up.